Hey guys, it's Krista here. I'm here to bring you my weekly reads for the week, and where I talk about what I've read and what I plan on reading. So I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is described as humans and androids crowd the raucous streets of New Beijing. A deadly plague ravages the population. From space, a ruthless lunar people watch, waiting to make their move. No one knows that Earth's fate hinges on one girl, Cinder. A gifted mechanic is a cyborg. She's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past, reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's illness. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an intergalactic struggle and a forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect the world's future. I gave this book 5 stars. I loved every minute of it, from the very first page to the very last page. It kept me completely on the edge of my seat. I loved every single character that it brought into it, and the writing was fantastic. I loved that there were cyborgs and robots and this futuristic science fiction feel of the lunar people that were watching over them and talking about war and whatnot. And I just loved every single minute of it. I thought the prince was great. Cinder was great. Her family thing. I totally recommend that book. 5 stars all the way. So another book that I finished reading is Starters by Lissa Price. This one says, her world is changed forever. Callie lost her parents when the Spore Wars wiped out everyone between the ages of 20 and 60. She and her little brother Tyler go on the run, living as squatters with their friend Michael and fighting off renegades who will kill them for a cookie. Callie's only hope is Prime Destinations, a disturbing place in Beverly Hills run by a mysterious figure known only as Old Man. He hires teens to rent their bodies to enders, seniors who want to be young again. Callie, desperate for the money that will keep her, Tyler, and Michael alive, agrees to be a donor. But the neurochip they place in Callie's head malfunctions, and she wakes up in the life of her renter, living in her mansion, driving her cars, and going out with the senator's grandson. It feels almost like a fairy tale, until Callie discovers that her renter intends to do more than party, and that Prime Destination's plan are more evil than Callie could have ever imagined. This one I rated 4 stars. I thought it was a very high-paced novel. There are several different aspects going on here. And this is one that I would definitely recommend. I loved it, and I gave it 4 stars, and the only reason I gave it 4 stars, I knocked it down 1 star, is because this is actually a book where I kind of wanted to learn more about the characters. I think that the story and the plot and the pacing was fantastic, but sometimes you just want to get an info dump every once in a while to learn more about the characters and why we want to fight with her and why we care about what happens to her. So we don't get a lot of that in it, but it's a great mystery and lots of stuff happening. So I still recommend this one. It's a really interesting read. I also read Taken by Zia Marie. It says, all Jackson Smith wanted to do was take his little sister Aubrey to a county fair, but they ended up in the town of Wicker Farm, a place that doesn't even exist on Earth as he knows it. Run by the ambitious and diabolical Governor Richards, Wicker Farm is in the process of rebuilding following a disease that wiped out most of the population of the state. Anyone who ends up there is expected to stay forever. With the governor's forces everywhere, escape seems impossible. Not that Jackson can even begin to figure out how to escape. That is, until he forms an uneasy alliance with Russell Tremmel, the young leader of the Resistance, the rebel group that opposes the governor. If Jackson can lead 2 lives, moving up the ranks as the perfect Wicker Farm resident with working for the Resistance, he may be the key to getting everyone out. This means bringing the danger even closer. This from Richard's security officers and from the temptations that Wicker Farm offers. the type of life he never would have had access in his world. But after finding himself torn between Charlie, the resistance wild child, and Sasha, the Governor Richard's daughter, the real danger could come from the unlikeliest source, from falling in love. So this one was a good story. I felt a little disconnected from most of the characters through part of the book. As far as the pacing goes, there were a lot of sections where the pacing was really fast action and moving along. And then there were some where it actually slows down a little bit. And those were the places that I had a little bit of trouble getting through. I felt that the romance took away from the story, and it might have, I don't know. I just felt like the romance in it kind of kept the pace going back, and I kept wanting to slap him for thinking about the girl when he really should be thinking about getting out of there and keeping his sister and himself safe. And it is a good read. You guys should check it out. I gave it 3 stars. And then today I finish the Demi-Monde Winter. This is by Rees. I ended up giving this 4 stars. Synopsis says, experience the ultimate in virtual reality. The Demi-Monde is the most advanced computer simulation ever devised, created to prepare soldiers for the nightmarish reality of urban warfare. It is a virtual world locked in eternal civil war. Its 30 million digital inhabitants are ruled by the duplicates of some of history's cruelest tyrants. Reinhard Heydrich, the architect of the Holocaust, Beria, Stalin's executioner, Torquemada, the pitiless Inquisitor General, Robespierre, and the face of the Reign of Terror. But something has gone badly wrong inside the Demi-Monde, and the U.S. President's daughter has become trapped in the terrible world. It falls to 18-year-old Ella Thomas to rescue her. Yet once Ella has entered the Demi-Monde, she finds that everything is not as it seems, and that its cyber walls are struggling to contain the evil within, and that the real world is in more danger than anyone realizes. I gave this one 4 stars. I've seen a lot of really negative reviews about this book, and so I was nervous going into it, but I have never experienced anything like it, so I thought it was really unique, and it intrigued me a lot, so I did enjoy it. There's this computer virtual program in the year 2018 the government is using to train the troops. So, but the program is based off of the early 19th century way of living. There's no electricity or, nukes or even the same kind of weapons that we use today. So that was one thing that I thought was kind of weird. Why build a program in an advanced world but yet take it back in history? Because what kind of things going back in time are we going to learn to prepare for war today when we have nuclear bombs and stuff? So I thought that was a little weird that it was set so far back in time. And then the other thing is that the president's daughter has been taken. I think she's like 18 or 19 years old. And then they send in another girl who's only 18 years old to rescue her. But this girl she doesn't come from a military background or anything. She's a jazz singer. So I thought that was a little kind of weird too. I'm like, why wouldn't they send like the highest ranked, person out there, even if it was a female or a male, whatever worked for the situation, but the highest ranked military person in there to rescue her. So I thought that was a little weird as well. But besides all of that, it kind of comes with its own vocabulary. It's very, it's a dense read, lots of stuff going on, lots of politics, lots of, war, of course, lots of military maneuvers, and, it comes with its own glossary. It's a dense read. But the thing is that Ella, the girl that sent in to rescue Trixie, she was my favorite character. I loved having her. I don't think the book could have worked without her, even though I felt it was weird that she was the one being sent in to rescue her. But I thought it was a really great read. It keeps up pace, but like I said, it was dense, so it took me a while to get through, and I read chunks at a time, because it's just got a lot of information in there, and this whole world is just, It's got futuristic stuff, or at least pretty close to today's world, mixed with stuff from the past, and then we've got a whole science fiction thing going on as well. So it was really interesting. I've heard it described as science fiction, steampunk, fantasy, thriller, and yeah, science fiction. So, I mean, it's just, it's a really interesting read. It leaves on a huge cliffhanger. So if you guys aren't ready to get into a really dense, book, because you're going to want to have to pick up the second one after you get through this one. So, I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was very unique and interesting, and awfully, I mean, it had me thinking, like, why would the author choose to do it this way? I mean, if you think of the idea of the Matrix, movies, and they made it so big, this is kind of like that, but, why would he send the troops into the past to learn? I was a little confused, but, I mean, I really liked it. I loved some of the characters, not all of them. When they got into talking about the military and the politics and stuff, like, I was kind of just reading through to get to the next fun section, to be honest with you, but that's why I rated it 4 stars. So, but anyway, so that's Demi-Monde Winter by Rees. Let's see here. Oh, I'm halfway through Cleopatra's Moon, but I've been really excited to get to this book, so I should be finishing that up this week, and I can't wait to see how that ends. Something on my to-be-read stack is Archon by Sabrina Bunellis. This is coming up probably after Cleopatra's Moon. Something I picked up from Walmart today is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. Says that it's now a major motion picture, but I haven't really heard about it. And it's about parents that are dealing with a kid that was involved in a school shooting. And it sounds pretty interesting. It actually sounds like maybe the mom is going to claim some of the fault on how she raised her kid that he committed the shooting. So, it's told from the mother's point of view as far as I can tell so far. I've only read like 3 pages, so I'm just getting into it. But it sounds interesting so far. And I guess that's really it for this week, guys. So thanks for watching. Bye.